Hey guys, welcome back. So I'm about to move and I've been packing, and as everyone knows, when you pack, you find things that just hide
like
in your
treasures.
Shelves. Yeah, so we're gonna have 4 hidden treasure beers.
It's like a pirate's booty.
These beers are all at least a year old. I think they're all at least 2 years old, to be honest. I don't remember. I'm not going to look up the stats. I don't know what recipes, I know what recipes these are, but I don't know what batches they are. They're just kind of there.
What I actually don't know, are these beers you brewed or you bought?
No, they're all mine.
Oh, so are these brews I've tasted before?
Perhaps. I'm actually not sure.
So interestingly, I guess that I didn't realize I thought these were beers you had bought. So we're tasting beers she's brewed that maybe you brewed in the very beginning of your brewing. How many times can I say brew? Your brewtastic brewing brewicity. You've brewed them in your brew history.
I know at least one is 3 years old. I think one is almost 4 years old.
Well, then this is going to be interesting because I've gotten much more involved with tasting your more recent beers in the last year and a half?
They're all different. The only normal one is a coffee stout.
So then let's get into this because these are going to be interesting if these are your early beers.
Yeah.
Mystery beer.
Back to the early days.
Let's do it.
So you have to decide, do you want to start with sours or stouts?
I think I'd rather end with stouts.
Okay.
What's the in-between? IPAs?
There is no in-between.
So there's 2 sours, 2 stouts. Let's do 2 Are they barrel aged or both just regular stouts? I'm sorry, regular sours.
One's a Farmhouse, so Brett, and then one is just a sour. It's a kettle
Let's do
sour.
the Brett, the Kel sour, and then the stouts.
Okay.
We may need to take a break after the sours, just
to
marinate
palate
our
cleanse.
palates.
Okay. So
actually, do you want to side by side the 2 sours? And we can just see what
that's what we're gonna do.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's why we have 2 glasses. Okay, so this first beer I'm gonna pour has been in a keg for probably 3.5 years.
What does that do science-wise?
Just sits.
It shouldn't fuck it up?
Nah.
The carbonation won't be fucked?
It's been carbonated for that long.
Let's see what happens.
I just poured some to make sure it was still carbonated.
And then tell me about it while you're pouring it, because other than just sour, this is the Brett?
No, this is the, it's just a normal kettle sour.
So a normal kettle sour, talk me through, nerdy brewing education. I know about the flavor of that.
Actually, yeah, we can drink this one because that's the other one. This actually I pulled out for a friend, but
is this
it's the same one that we were gonna drink.
Perfect. So, okay, let me ask nerdy brewing questions while we're doing this. Mm-hmm. I can talk about the flavor profile of sours, and to be fair,
this I think this had an infection, so it's not a bad infection, but
whatever. We'll let it settle while we're talking. Because this is a real question. What?
Sorry.
Excuse me.
It's got a lot of carbonation. All right,
I'll
fill that once it's settled.
Do you want me to dump some?
I got it.
Okay, this was a real question.
Okay.
There's a very big difference between infected and sour, because I know that sour is also a different type of fermentation.
I think it's both.
What makes a sour sour? What part of the beer sours?
What part?
Because when you make a beer, you still ferment.
It's just the beer that sours, truly.
How is that different than infection?
It's the same.
It is. So it's the right kind of infection.
Yeah.
So when we had that IPA that we did 3 different versions and some of them went bad, but they actually ended up kind of okay, it's because they soured.
Not necessarily. Souring typically refers to lacto, lactobacillus. That's what gives it the sour flavor. This is a Farmhouse with Brettanomyces, so it's not what you would necessarily describe as sour. It's more of a Farmhouse.
Brett,
it's what we always call goaty.
And a Brett, you've talked to me about what the Brettanomycins mean. Because that feels different. Because sours can still feel crisp and still feel clean. Brettanomycins, if I'm right and I remember what you've taught me, Bretts have a little bit more texture, a little bit more creaminess sometimes.
Barnyard.
Yeah, a little bit. I think that's a funky. Like, I think you said
Yeah,
doughy.
this is more funky than...
Sours can still be like bright and fruity. So what makes this red? What fruit is in here?
So this is a blueberry kettle sour.
You love blueberry.
I love blueberry. I told you.
And what does kettle sour mean?
So kettle sour means that you sour it before you boil it. So with these, I used Siggy's, the yogurt.
Really?
Yeah. It's lactobacillus. It's the same shit that makes
You
yogurt.
said it like I know what that means. But, so you're adding...
So you know the probiotics that are in yogurt?
Yeah, but...
That's what makes a sour beer sometimes.
Because that enhances the fermentation more than yeast does?
It makes the sour flavor.
And yeast can't give you that sour flavor?
Not typical yeast, no. Some yeasts, like I've been researching wild yeast lately, and there's a yeast that's found on the wings of a wasp that gives you a sour and honey flavor, but also can ferment. But this is fermented with regular yeast, but before I do that, I make the sour flavor with the yogurt.
With Greek yogurt.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, I
Is
think
there-
it's Swedish yogurt, actually, but... Malort, again!
Malort. Is this lactose free? If I was lactose intolerant, could I drink this?
Yeah, it's the bacteria. It's not like lactose.
So what's interesting, I have had some of your sours before, and I'll be curious because if this one was an earlier version of stuff that I've tasted, most of the sours of yours I've tasted are not crazy, like make your mouth pucker. They're like tart, summery, bright. I'm excited to see if this follows that or if this is more
This
intense.
was early.
So, okay, let me just...
All right. So
Curiosity.
color, it's obviously bright red from the blueberries. This has 3
Maroon.
pounds of frozen blueberries in it.
It's like maroon almost.
Mm-hmm. Definitely smells sour. It almost smells like a Flanders red.
I don't know what that is. I was going to say it smells like Sour Heads. Like candy. Oh, you know what? It's really balanced. I'm surprised at how light it is.
That aged well.
I thought I was gonna like blow my head off in terms of how like
It's less sour than it used to be.
it's really delicate. It's really bright. It's really summery. The fruit carries. It is the blueberries aged well, and it gave
Yeah.
it like a really
It rounded out. It
jammy-
used to be way more like punchy.
No, I think this is beautiful. This would if you had bottled this, if you did bottle this,
I can still. I've got half a keg of it.
it is both perfect for summer, but also will carry to fall. This is.
Yeah.
Do you know what the alcohol is?
I don't think it's high. I think it's like 5%.
Based on the way
These
you
are
were,
all going to be estimations.
You were talking about this like this was gonna blow my head off, and this it's
Okay, the story behind this blueberry sour, I stopped making it for a very specific reason. So I think this keg actually did it. So I tried to do this non-kettle sour. So I tried to do a slow sour, and
I have no idea what that means.
so it's like you make the beer and then you pitch the lactic so that it's like the month-long process versus the day-long process of souring.
Remember that my understanding is when I pitched the yeast, I understood what that meant.
So basically you pitch the lactic bacteria, but it takes a really long time to sour.
So then you wrap it up and just put it somewhere?
Yeah. So I tried to do that once, and
In cold circumstances or in...
no, in here under my desk. And I went out of town, and I came back to an empty keg.
Oh, was this the one that...
In a very sticky floor. And then another time I did it, we had a friend stay over, and it was just a normal kettle sour, but something happened. One of my like gaskets blew, and it was carbonated again everywhere. And I think that was this batch. And
You don't
that's
think
why
this was about the beer itself? You think it was just coincidence?
I think this beer's cursed.
Except it tastes really good.
That's the problem, is it's a really good beer.
Well, now you're a lot more educated, and I look forward to you trying it again in your garage. Maybe this is my first sour.
It's easy to do.
So you teach me Obi sour.
Obi
one
sour.
could beer an Obi.
Obi one,
Obi one Kasoba.
O beer one.
Oh, beer one cause sour.
Oh, beer one gets sour. God.
We'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is great.
It tastes like a long soured beer now that it's sit for so long.
I can't speak to that. I can tell you when I've had a lot of sours at a bar, there's a lot of sours that we have, fruited sours that we have that are just like trying too hard.
Mm-hmm.
And this carries the fruit.
I don't love an over-soured sour.
I don't either. I don't love an over-fruited sour. This is fruit forward without, I say this a lot with some of the beers that we do because this is the way that I drink is as a bartender. I could do this with food. Mm-hmm. I don't like barrel-aged sours or over-fruited sours because they take your palate to a specific place.
What food would you do with this, though?
A salad.
Mm-hmm. Or fish.
Depends on the fish, not salmon, whitefish.
Light, yeah, very white fish.
I think this would be great with a salad. I think this would be great with dessert. I think this would be great with something fatty that's not like red meat fatty. I think it could, like, if you think about this with like French fries.
Ugh, no.
Oh, I think that'd be great. It would cut right through.
Oh,
French fries with like a spicy aioli. I think this one aged really well. I think this is delightful.
Yeah.
I think I'm looking forward to tasting the next one because if this is how this one aged.
Yeah. Fortunately, we have a shit ton of this one left. The others, not so much, because the others are actual stragglers, but this one I still have half a keg of.
Well,
So we can literally drink half the keg of it.
But now that you know that it's this good, it won't last very long.
I know. Because, I sent this to a competition, and they said that it has DMS, which can give you a slickness on the tongue, but I think it went away. Yeah.
So you asked what food. I also think this would go really well with highly acidic, like tomatoes.
Yeah.
Pizza?
I don't know. I have such a hard time pairing sours with food.
So I have a hard time with heavy, like triple IPAs with food because this doesn't lay on your palate too long. That for me, if I had like a caprese pizza or like a margarita pizza that had the fattiness from the cheese and you had the basil, and then you took a sip of this and it kind of cut it, you'd be able to get right back into the tomatoes and the cheese.
I mean, I have a hard time pairing pizza with beer because I just hoover the pizza. Alrighty.
So
on
let's
to the next
move.
one.
So this one's the Brett.
So this is the Brett. So this is the first beer I made with the pineapple guavas.
I remember you making this, but I don't think I ever tasted it.
I don't know.
I remember you collecting them.
You know what? I think this one had to sit for about 6 months before it was ready, and that's probably why you never tasted it.
Is it weird if I say it smells a little soapy?
It's the guava. Think about the smell of the guavas.
Yeah, remember the Lush store?
Yeah, I've been in like one.
It's a little creamy.
I do
I
get
don't
the
know if I'm
soap
gonna
now.
like this one.
It almost smells like my Dr. Bronner's rose soap. So this one...
It is a little creamier than
This one is 3 years old.
I'm not sure if the age has anything to do with this for me. I have never been a huge Brett fan, and I think it's because of the texture.
It's
soapy for me.
It's very soapy.
Now, if this was an IPA...
Very dry. It reminds me of champagne a bit.
I disagree. It's Chardonnay for me.
Like a sparkling Chardonnay. Ugh. Thinking about white wine just made my stomach hurt.
So when I think about champagne, I would think, you said it was really dry, and it's funny.
It's like, sweet on the front, but it's like, it finishes dry. This one fermented out like all the sugar.
Okay, so
there's like no sugar in this.
Stylistically, this is a very specific style that people love. This is not a bad beer, okay? This tastes exactly like beers that I have sold to people that people fucking love. It is rich and textured and fruit forward. It's not my style.
Do you think it tastes like the product of a gypsy curse?
No. No. I think it tastes like... If you ever make a beer that tastes like the product of a gypsy curse, I will run away quickly.
That first attempt at that Christmas beer was there.
No, that was not the product. Nobody would have cursed that on anyone. They just would have shit it out. That was urine of a 75-year-old alcoholic gypsy.
Oh, so bad.
That's what that was. Yeah, this, I think, has an audience. I've tasted beers like this. This beer sells, but it's also specifically a style that is not for me.
Yeah. You know, I have friends who really like this one.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite.
I don't think this is a lot. I don't think this is a thumbs down. I don't think that. I just think I'm not the person that can go give this to read. Does he like this style?
I don't know.
I don't think this is a bad beer. I don't feel like I'm the person to review it. Go see what he thinks.
Okay. Well, that beer was commandeered by my husband, who does like it.
Oh wait, I'll finish this one.
Okay, you finish that. Okay, so the sour round is over.
You did hit start, right?
I did.
So the sour round, we didn't really do a wrap up. Is that okay?
We don't need to do a wrap up. It's just we're trying shit.
So I might be more curious and excited about the stout rounds.
Just FYI, so we're gonna try a coffee stout and a golden chai stout. The golden chai stout.
Did you make the golden chai stout?
Yeah.
When the fuck did you make a golden chai stout?
A billion years ago.
You never fucking told me that. You know how excited.
I made this before we were friends.
And this is a different coffee stout than coffee stouts you've made.
This is the only coffee stout I've made, I think.
Because you
may have
Black
already
is
tried.
Beautiful was oatmeal.
Yeah, that's not this one. This one's
and they're both carbonated, not nitro.
correct.
Normally I have very different feelings about carbonated stouts than I do about nitro stouts, so I'm super curious. This has me excited.
This one may explode a little bit.
Do you want to do it over the sink?
I'm gonna do it over this.
Wait, there's a bucket somewhere? So tell me
it worked. Okay.
Tell me what... Okay, you and I have done this before, but like walk me through what it means to be a golden chai stout.
Oh, this one might not have had the infection that the one I sent to the competition did.
It's really pretty.
Okay,
How do you do a golden stout?
This
Remind
is
me.
definitely oxidized. It was lighter before, but it is 4 years old. So
It's a little red.
yeah, it's oxidation. So the golden chai stout is basically a stout that you don't use dark malts for. You use like caramel malts instead. I also used lactose and cocoa nibs and
So what makes it chai?
Trader Joe's chai tea.
Okay. Well, so the reason I ask, you've mentioned a few other spices. So I learned how to make chai at home.
Yeah, I use like the actual just tea bags.
Which is totally fine, but what's interesting in the last however many times we've done tastings, there are flavors that you keep bringing up that are chai. So regular chai.
I feel like I've brought up this beer a couple times too.
I don't think I realized that it was the beer that you made.
Yeah, I made it. Oh, but Anderson Valley also does a chai solstice.
Then maybe you've been modest and not told me you did it yourself. Shut up, I just want to do it.
It smells weird.
It does smell weird. It smells rubbery.
Oh! It's smoked malt. I added smoked malt. That's why I don't like this beer. I remember.
Is rubbery, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Playgroundy?
Smells like a rubber band almost.
But like,
It's very sweet smelling.
and not...
The smoke went away a lot.
Chai?
I know.
Cherry.
It does have a cherry.
Like cherry brandy.
Yeah. It almost smells barrel aged. Ugh.
It tastes... I did not have that.
It's so sweet.
I did not have that reaction.
There's so much lactose in there.
Okay. So this, for me, it did not give me that reaction.
It's not a bad flavor.
It
It's just
tastes
way too
like
sweet.
Brandy barrel aged something.
I don't like barrel aged stuff. It's too sweet.
I don't love it. Brandy, it's similar experience. I don't love brandy barrel aged stuff either, but I can sell it.
Tastes
This
like
tastes like
picked
brandy
on in
barrel.
the 5th grade.
It tastes like what? Like you got
I'm literally using Malort video lines at this point. That was my whole goal for this video.
This didn't do what you wanted it to do. It is... it tastes like something that I've had. This is not the beer you wanted to make. No, I'm going to leave it at that.
It's not.
It's not
so sweet.
It's not terrible, but it doesn't taste anything like you wanted it to.
I don't like it at all. You know what? I think it was better before the smoke fell out. Because there's no smoke left in this, but when it was smoky,
even if it was smoky, it would not taste like a stout.
It masked the...
Okay, here's the thing. Even if it was smoky, it still wouldn't taste like the beer you wanted to create.
Nope. I think this one's supposed to be a good beer.
I don't
remember.
know what. If you had blinded me, if you like blind tasted me on that.
Almost tastes like a barley wine.
Brandy barrel aged, barley, 100%.
Yeah.
Similar.
But it's like 5%.
There's nothing stouty about that for me at all. There's no coffee. There's no cocoa. There's no...
We're going to call that
groundedness. That it doesn't taste like asshole. It's not bad.
I have no loyalty to past Sarah. I don't give... You can say
Listen,
it's disgusting. I just gagged on my own beer.
To be fair, I feel like if I am not honest with you, you won't trust me when I like stuff. I did not gag. I don't think that's terrible. However, if you sold me that as a stout, you're lying.
Yeah. It was supposed to be a golden stout, which are...
Golden stouts still taste like stouts.
Yeah.
That's why I like golden stouts.
This was my first attempt.
Whatever you created was not that. It's something else. We'll just put that.
We're just gonna...
We're gonna call that beer to learning experience. Mm-hmm. And let's remind me, you, anyone, I have tasted stouts that you've made that have been fucking great. The Black is Beautiful was fucking delicious.
I think this one's good. I don't remember.
So I trust you.
This might have been the first stout I ever made.
Okay, so this ooh, interesting. One of the things I told you that I don't always love about stouts. Super roasty and a little metallic.
Oh, it is metallic.
Which to me reminds me of Irish stouts.
But I hate Guinness.
I do too, but that doesn't mean everybody does.
True.
That's this approach. It's burnt. It's burnt roasty.
Yeah, it's got the astringency.
Like a
copper penny.
Mm-hmm, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Okay, so we kept talking recently. We were talking about all the different flavors you can add to coffee with like citrus and blah blah blah. This is over roasted coffee.
Yeah, that's exactly what it tastes
like. You
over
roasted it and over blended it and over steeped it. It's super stringent.
I think I used Intelligentsia too, which is like a lighter roast.
It is,
but I think it combined with the roasted malts. But it has a very Guinness vibe.
It's over steeped coffee. You let it sit too long. For as coffee goes.
I like how my sours that are like the ones that I was actually worried about are like not doing as hot as the stouts.
Have you fucked around with more stouts since then than sours?
I have really good stout recipes now. This was my first one.
This, because of how successful Guinness is, again, this same as the whatever the guava you eat. There are people that would love this. It is really fruity too, in a weird way.
My coworker Melanie, this is her favorite beer I brew.
Yeah, so that's the thing this is not a bad beer. This has a very specific audience. Yeah. It's very fruity.
It is.
It's light. It's dry as shit.
It is very dry.
It's stringent. It's like a fruity Guinness. Fruity flat Guinness.
I think it's 8% too.
It does not taste like that. I will give you that.
I don't love.
It is not my style of stout, but it is not a bad stout.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it, technically.
You probably followed a recipe.
No, this was one I made.
Well, then whatever you did for this, if you have that recipe,
I think so.
This is
archive.
This is a sellable. This is a specific style.
This might have been like back when I was like handwriting all my recipes.
At 8%, here's what I would say about this. I would encourage you, if you added more cocoa flavor.
The thing is, I don't think I'll ever make another stout recipe because the Black is Beautiful modification that I made is like my favorite stout I've ever made. It's so fucking good.
It is so fucking good, but you also know that if you and I both love that the people who like super dry Irish style stouts will hate that.
I have a good dry Irish style
Have I tasted
stout.
that?
I think you have. It's basically a Guinness clone without the souring, so it doesn't have the metallicness.
Is that it? Is there souring in this?
No. I mean, maybe. It might have gotten infected in the bottle. This isn't
blueberry.
Forever old.
Blueberry is a flavor that I get a lot in stouts. This is like super ripe strawberry, maybe.
Interesting.
There is a fruit in it.
Yeah.
But it makes me thirsty. It's dry. The like licking a battery when you lick a...
Like a 9-volt?
Yeah. Like it...
That's so funny.
Right? Like, take a sip. See if I'm wrong. I could just be drunk. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. I could just be crazy.
You do. It's, yeah.
Because it finishes on the back.
Acidity.
It's very acidic. It is not bad. If you gave me this if you gave me like a 2-ounce sample of this with like a really intense like blue cheese burger,
maybe
I could be okay with a little bit of this. It
Yeah.
would cut through the meat. It would cut through beef, like really fatty beef. But I wouldn't want more than. Yeah. It's not a bad beer. It's well done for the style. It's just not my style.
Yeah, not mine
You and I
either.
have pretty
I think,
similar
yeah,
tastes.
our palates are like combined at this point.
There are people that would love this.
Yeah. All right. Just stop
It's
drinking
so dry.
it. Stop drinking it.
But it's interesting because like I do keep revisiting it because it dries off interestingly.
I know.
Go try him.
He's still working on that. I'll drink it.
This is if you reduced this because of how dry it is, it's not sweet at all. If you reduced this and baked with it,
Tiramisu with this would be good. Yeah.
chocolate cake because with some stouts there's still so much sugar. You can over intensify it or whatever.
Yeah.
This is so dry. I'd be curious to reduce this. See what happens.
Totally. All right, we did it.
I will say, I think the beers that I've tasted of yours in the time that you've let me play along have been a lot more complex. I think all of the beers that I just tasted were pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Like they were what they were, for better and for worse. And it's interesting because only the one beer from prior that wasn't on this video. We tasted 4 beers, and the one beer that wasn't very good just was your experiment. Which, as you should. If you should experiment, you should fail.
Exactly.
That's how you learn. But the fact that all other explorations were straightforward, and since then, how many times have I used the phrase, ooh, this like is a journey. It's a trip.
Your catchphrase is it's a journey at this point.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, you've learned how to build your malts and your hops and whatever other blah-blah blues to not make it one note. Like, you don't like one note beer.
Yeah.
And I feel like you started with one perspective, and now you've learned how to approach the recipes with a level of complexity, which I think is
I feel like these
an artistic
beers,
nature.
like, it gives you a peek into what my palate was 3 years ago. I really liked sours, I really liked stouts, and now I'm more into lagers. And
to be fair, wasn't it one of your
lagers.
beers 3 years ago that won you your first ribbon?
It was the blueberry.
Just to go back to like the whole concept of being introduced to the concept of being a home brewer rather than just a drinker. You competed based on your palate, and in the very beginning, you won because you didn't do too much. You approached beer with your palate, and you continued to just learn from there.
Yeah.
So the reason you won was because you stuck with what you knew.
Yeah.
And then you grew.
That guava beer has won a medal as well.
So again, just because you and I weren't huge fans.
Yeah. That one's definitely changed over time too.
It won because it was very specifically an approach to what it is. Period. There's nothing wrong with that. unless it's this. And then there's a lot of things wrong with it.
Many, many things.
The moral of the story is start where you start. Be willing to fuck up.
And if you have weird beers, keep them around. See how they turn out in a few years.
I think that's the biggest lesson. If you have weird beers, keep them.
They might turn out better. Like that blueberry definitely mellowed out.
I can't wait for my next brew. Well, drink. Don't drink half these.
No.
Thanks, Sarah. Is this the last one we're doing here?
The last one of mine, yeah. We have reviews to do for the podcast, but that's commercial beer.
Here?
Yeah.
All right, well, will that be on camera?
Yeah.
Well, then
for the Patreon.
We'll see some of you again, and anyone else that wants to see us again here.
You can join the Patreon.
You should join the Patreon.
Lots of bonus content coming out.
Have you shown
early videos, stuff?
Are people aware that don't show it? You have to be a Patreon member to get the merch.
I do love the merch.
For the record, there's some really funny merch. Okay, it's possible that I've encouraged this asshole version of this like drink half the keg thing, but Sarah might have created the world's best magnet that says said tagline.
And it'll make you feel drunk.
You only get to see it if you're a Patreon member.
Sure.
But don't put it on your car.
Don't put it on your car. It's a fridge magnet. For sure.
Maybe she'll do giveaways and you can win it.
Maybe. We'll see.
I'm a Patreon member, so I got it.
Yep. All right. Ready to sign off?
You tell me.
This is your channel now.
It's Sarah Flora Brewing, where you can drink, brew, smile, laugh, learn, and have fun. Don't forget to subscribe to her Instagram and Patreon, Facebook, and what else is there?
Like and subscribe? I don't know.
Like and subscribe. Drink along next time. Drink half of a better keg. Wait. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. In a new place. Actually, no, the new place is coming after. Not in a new place. You gotta wait longer for that. I really want to use some of the lines from the Malort thing.
What?
Well, you know what I'm talking
I know what Malort is, but some of the lines from Malort.
We're gonna look at it.
What are you talking about?
I'm gonna show you.
Have you ever tasted Malort?
No,
Are you kidding?
I'm not going to.
Would you like to estimate what it tastes like?
I have a feeling.
What do you think it tastes like? Because I lived in Chicago.
I think it tastes like the product of a gypsy curse.
Be more specific. I actually want tasting notes.
No, I don't know.
It tastes like armpit. It tastes like BO.
You've seen this, right?
No.
You haven't seen
No, because I've tasted Malort.
No, but you haven't seen this?
I worked in bars in Chicago.
Dude, you haven't. This is a comedy. You haven't seen this?
My name's Carl Jepson IV. When my great-grandfather arrived in this country...
You haven't seen this?
Have you ever had green chartreuse?
Uh-oh. That's an
Okay,
oxymoron.
so-
Chartreuse is green.
Okay, but there's chartreuse is a type of liqueur. It's a French or Italian liqueur. There's green and yellow. Malort is incredibly herbal and dirty.
What's that other one? Oh, that shit that you bought here. It's the other liqueur that's like fucking gross. The hangover cure.
Oh no, Fernet is very different.
God
Fernet
damn
is
garbage.
like licorice herbal. Chartreuse is like lemongrass, like the things that witches would use, like whatever those herbs are that are like herbal.
Product of a gypsy curse.
Yeah, so that's chartreuse. So Malort is like if you took that and mixed it with mud. So
Disgusting.
Malort has a little like BO taste to it. Malort is disgusting. Don't talk shit about Malort. You'll lose your entire Chicago audience. I will get some sent to you though. It is.
I don't want that.
You have to taste it. It's one of those like rites of passage.
Oh, like Fernet. Fernet was a rite of passage. I tried that on my like 30th birthday. No, 29th.
Fernet will continue to grow on you as you grow up. Because once you know it's good for you, like it actually settles your stomach. It is actually good for you.
I don't give two shits.
Malort's not. Malort is a rite of passage because people trick you into it.
It's the sweetest Swedish liqueur.
It's not sweet at all. It tastes like licking somebody's armpit after a workout and they sat in the sun.
Does it taste like an Icelandic abortion?
After it sat in the sun. It is funky.
Does it taste like getting picked on in the 5th grade?
So I can give you the nerdy bartender shit. I cannot find the artistic nature of Malort. Malort, I feel like, was created as a joke. Hi.
Hey guys, welcome back. So as you know, I am moving. So in a move, you inevitably find stuff.
You what?
So in a move, you inevitably... Malort.
In a move, you're going to run into beers that you didn't even know you had. Tell me about it, Sarah. Hi, guys.
Hey guys, well... God damn it, so many bloopers in this one. The last one we were so good, we didn't have any bloopers.
Yeah, and then we did a review. Drink the whole case. Well, hello, and welcome to Drink the Whole Case with Sarah Flora Brewing.
Hello, and welcome to We've Already Been Drinking.
No, we have not.
Hello, we're totally sober.
Phobily Tober.
Phobily Tober. Okay, I'm gonna do it for real.
Okay.